So this whole syllabus of Hindu Shastrani or Sanatana Dharma scriptures. We divided into this four different part. The first part we are going to learn about Vedas plus Dharma. And when we are going to apply this Dharma, it is going to call as my karmas. And all are same, just their manifestation is different. In the second part, what we are going to learn is Upanishads. And in third, we are going to learn about Darshana that are orthodox. Astika Darshana, who believes in the authorities of this first step of Vedas, Dharmas, and Karma. That okay, we need to have evidence, Shruti, Pramana, that whatever is going to written in Vedas, we believe in that and we are going to apply it in our darshana. And some said we are not going to believe unorthodox or nastik darshana. So nastik and astik darshana. So 8, 9 we have total darshana, 6 we call as a shad darshana, and that is also two pairs, 3 plus 2, and independent darshana. That is what we are going to learn. So today's session we are focusing on this part of Upanishads. In a previous session of Vedas, what we have learned that Vedas are called as a Shruti Shastra. So these Vedas are apaurushia, no one has created. That is just these manifestations and realization of that same truth are being heard by these rishis in their meditative states. So these Vedas are called as a Shruti Shastras. And in Vedas, we have these three different part: karma, upasana, and jnana. So today's what we are going to learn as Upanishada, that is called as a Vedanta. So Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda. So these are all rituals, these are all these meditations and all other practice of prayers and bhaktis, emotional transformation. This is transformations of your actions. And at the end, your intelligence. We are going to work on your Prajna Kshetra. So karma, upasana, and jnana. So today, even what we are going to learn as a Upanishada, that is also we can say, okay, we are learning Vedas because Upanishads are also part of Vedas. It's a part and part. Veda plus anta. Veda plus anta. Savarna dirgha sangi. A plus A become A. So Ved A plus A, Vedanta. So that is what we are going to learn. In Vedas, we also learn that there are three steps process to establish my fourth Purushartha. that is moksha. And for that, I required three steps. I need to listen what is going to be explained to me, how to start my journey. Shruti, Smruti, and at the end we have this Nyaya or logic, Prasthana. So these three Prasthana we call as a Moksha Prasthana or only Prasthana. This Prasthana is not for Dharma, Artha or Kama. So Dharma, Artha, Kama. This duty we already have performed. So we are just now focusing on moksha dharma. So for that, Rishi Munis are saying you need to start this three-step process of Shruti, Prasthana, Smruti Prasthana. Here we have Bhagavad Gita. In Shruti Prasthana also we have Upanishad. It's, and in the Nyaya Prasthana we have Brahma Sutra. So as a part of this Shruti Prasthana, someone is asking to give some light on Shruti Prasthana, then also we need to point out all these Upanishads teaching how someone can get near to this Prasthana means Moksha Dharma. In Smruti Prasthana, we learn about Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. This same Brahma Sutras or Nyaya Prasthana is going to become as Uttara Mimamsa. So there are six Astik Darshana that we are going to learn in step number 3. This last and final Darshana that is going along with Purva Mimamsa, this Uttar Mimamsa and Brahma Sutras are also same. So if you are going to learn this Prasthana, Shruti, Smruti, Nyaya, your Shruti Prasthana is Upanishads, Smruti Prasthana, your Bhagavad Gita, and Nyaya Prasthana is your logical understanding of how you can do this journey by your own. And the same Nyaya Prasthana, Brahma Sutra, 555 sutras are going to become your Uttar Mimansha. So when we are going to see perspective of darshana, how that realizations is going to be happen in a more practical way, the same Brahma Sutra we are going to carry. So many way this same link we are using. Right now also Upanishads is part of Prasthana. It is also part of Vedas as Vedanta or Jnana Kanda. So someone said, okay, write something about Jnana Kanda. Then also we are putting as a Vedanta at the same like we are putting as a Upanishads. So Upanishads, Vedanta or Jnana Kanda all are same. Veda and Dharma and Karma. This theory also we need to understand this Veda, this Dharma and Karma are all the same. If you want to know about Dharma, you need to go to Vedas. If you are reading Vedas, what they are going to taught is all about dharmas. And when you are going to practice this dharma, when you are going to practice whatever is written in Veda, because dharma is whatever is written in Veda. So when you are going to practice this Veda in your day-to-day life, that is going to call as your karma. And whatever your karma is, you will have this karma phala. So three types of karma phala: sanchit, prarabdha, and agami karma. So three types of karma phala and these different types of karma. How this karma are going to be decide which type of karma I should do, that will be you need to focus on four purushartha. What is my goal of this life? So four purushartha goals. Purushartha. First purushartha is dharma, second is artha, kama, and moksha. So this all four types of goals I need to fulfill all the day, all the lifetime. Only that percentage is different. Right now we are equally divide this percentage, that any period of time you should do your dharma 25%. Dharma is reading these scriptures, Vedas and all other things. Artha is you are going to read about how to create wealth, and kama is how you are going to enjoy in a good way, and at the end how you can able to renounce. These four goals you need to put to perspective of where you are in this lifetime. So your life is divided again in four different parts. What is this four different part of your life? So first 25 hour of 25 years, 50, 75, and 100. So here you are just a students. So brahmacharya. Here you are as a family man, gruhastha. Third is vanaprastha, and fourth is sannyasa. In the first part, your focus will be on dharma. So like when you are brahmachari, when you are a student, 75%, 70% you are focusing on dharma, and 10%, 10%, and 10% you are focusing on this other three purushartha. So all the goal is same for all the people on this planet earth as per Vedas and as per dharma. But whatever your life path, wherever you are, if you are in a beginning level, this is life journey, or you are at the end, if you are in a first stage, then you need to focus more on dharma. If you are in a second step, you focus more on a artha. So 70% artha and all other things as a 10%. Now, if you are like a vanaprastha, now you are like age of retirement, you should start more on a kama, enjoy yourself and give all other responsibility to your other family members. And when you are at end of journey, that you focus more on 70% on moksha dharma. So this way, these architectures of how to live, balance and fulfill life, that is given to you. Another four category by all this work, all this karma, they say there will be four category. One, that will be jnana, or we call as a education. Second, we will have this security. A third is wealth, and fourth is service. So all this karma we are going to divide, because there are lots of many karmas are there. In the same way, when we are in a home or we are in an office, we are going to divide in a different department, like marketing department, ITs, and uh, supply chain management. So same way, all this work, that is as a collaborative ecosystem of human and all peoples living together and sharing this same earth. Let's divide all this work into four part. One, that will be education. Second is uh, security. Third is will be wealth management, and fourth is service management. So according to whatever part or whatever faculty you have chosen, that way you need to put your focus for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And again, this four tier architecture. So 4 by 4 by 4. This type of karma you are going to do. So first, Samanya Dharma, it is compulsory for everyone, that is Satya and Ahimsa and Saucha and all Samanya Dharma. Second tier karma, that is very specialized karma, whatever field of job that you have chosen, you need to put more focus on that. In any karma or any faculty, either you are in education or security or wealth or service, you need to focus. That way you need to use your dharma, means study literature of whatever faculty you are in. Also in you need to create this wealth out of your karmas, and you need to protect your karmas, and at the same moment you need to do some services. The same faculty you need to serve. That if you are in a doctor, and then you need to serve others. If you are in a warfare, then also you need to serve for some time. Also you need to teach, and also you need to do enjoy with that, and also you need to create wealth out of your karmas. So this is how 4 by 4 by 4 architectures that we have learned in Vedic science. So it's more a scientific and more organized way of living. Now let's move to the second part of Upanishads. 10 major Upanishads that we are going to cover. Upa plus Ni vata Sad. Etymology, there are three steps. Upa means going near. Nihi means with firm determination. And Sat, to sit. So someone is sitting near to that ultimate truth. So there are two type of truth is there. This is sansara. So you are here. So this is Adhyatma, Atma. So right now you are moving on these directions, that you have dharma plus artha and kama. For that you are moving and sitting near to sansaric organization. Now what Upanishads is asking, that now you need to move on this Atma side. That because now your dharma is moksha dharma. You have chosen as a prasthanatrayi that I want to learn Upanishada as my part of Prasthanatrayi or Shruti Prasthana. So when you want to go near, that is called with determination, because this force of samsara is always going to attract you on that side. So you need to move on left side with firm determination. So this is your abhyasa to move forward on these directions near Atma, and this is your vairagya. So these two types of effort you need to make. You need to say yes to this moksha dharma, and you need to say no to the other dharma. If I want to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, there are two things I need to do. I need to say yes for whatever that activity I am going to perform as part of 5 a.m. Maybe that will be my yoga sessions. Then I need to also do no to this bed. I need to left this bed. Whatever is going to happen 5 a.m., I'm going to left this bed and come out of that bed. That first thing I need to say no, and then I need to do yes. So this is my vairagya, and this is my abhyasa. You cannot do both things simultaneously. So if you want to move ahead on these directions and creating all this effort, slowly, we need to remove this attachment with this day to day. Then we have that extra time and effort and energy so that we can move on this side of Upanishads, the side of Atma. So that is what Upanishads are manuals, how we can cut this attachment with samsara, day to day life, and how you can practice and go near to this Atma, to your own self. So, all these manuals of Abhyasa and Vairagya are taught in Upanishads. There will be some central topics that all Upanishads are going to taught. So, there are like 10 to 15 different siddhanta, or we call as some principles, that moksha, what is jiva, what is atma, what are different types of practices that we need to perform to become part of Upanishadic process. This is part of process that what we are going to learn. So first part, it will be some principles. And in a second part, there will be some motivation and inspirational stories. So there are some principle, there are thought process, there are some topic about moksha or a jiva or ultimate freedoms, or what that happiness is all about, what atma is all about. There are 10, 15 basic fundamental siddhantas there that all the Upanishads are talking about. Only their language is little bit different. And there are lots of stories, inspirational stories, because this is Upanishadic process. So this is like a living entity. So lots of people are running and moving on this process, and they become enlightened. They are sharing their own stories. So that stories of enlightenment is there. And third, we have some literature. So there are some mantras or shlokas that we need to remember. Only one or two shloka is also fine for each and every Upanishad. So there are some principal topics that all the Upanishads are sharing. What this particular Upanishad is giving, how that principle is going to apply, practical way, stories, and at the end we have some literature reviews, that what these shlokas and how many chapters and how many shlokas are there and how they are interrelated. And there are two three shlokas if we want to remember, to just to link ourselves with this Upanishads. And there are only 10 major Upanishads we are going to talk about. There are more than 108, or maybe many more Upanishads, but we are only focusing on this 10 major Upanishads. So let's start our journey. Let me share. So we are at part 2, that is Upanishad. Part 1 of basics and fundamentals of Veda is covered. Now we are moving on second part of Upanishads. Let's focus on the central concepts of Upanishads. First, etymology of Upanishad, that sitting down near to that ultimate truth of Atman. So Upah, Nihi, and Sad. Upa means going near, Nihi means with firm determinations, and sad means to sit. So upa, nihi, shad, and kvip dhatu. So this is what etymology, or in a Sanskrit we call as a vyutpatti. So this is upa, stands for nearness, closeliness, whatever that effort or abhyasa that we are doing to come near to that truth. All that abhyasa, all that effort, all that spiritual practice is part of upa. Nihi means with firm determination. Whatever that abhyas or practice that we are doing, we need to continuously do that same practice. Satu दीर्घकाल नैरंतर्य सत्कारा सेवितो इति दृढ़ भूमि है. Satu दीर्घकाल, for firm determination. That practice is not for 1 day or 2 days. We need to do persistently, continuously. If you are doing this asanas or meditation, is not only 1 day and this moksha is going to happen or enlightenment is going to happen. So for that, you need to do this practice every day, same time and same continuity. We need to do that is called as your determinations, that any situations is going to come, you are not going to miss single session of your self discovery practice. And sad, just firmly, because there are some external these conditions, external some issues or problems or hurdles are going to come, and there are some internals also. So you are just sitting there with a sakshi bhava. That is called Upanishads. Upanishads is not something is written on some textbook and then you are just going to read what a fascinating this stories of this Katha Upanishads and how these peoples are enlightened. No, this is not for your enjoyment. This is for our own self realizations. And this is my Upanishads. Whatever that effort and spiritual practice I am doing is called Upanishads. So I'm doing this Vairagya, cutting down all these bondages and attachment that is taking me away from my practices. Vairagyam, detachment. And I'm practicing as a Abhyasa. So Abhyasa and Vairagya both are part of Upanishads. Siddhanta, first Siddhanta. First, all these Upanishads, they are sharing some basic ground of knowledge. So first, they said all sansaras, there are cycles of birth and rebirth, and everything is just moving ground like birth, and then again you will have death, and again you will have rebirth. So this theory of reincarnation is going to be shown in most of the Upanishads. So how that Jiva and Jivatma is going to be travel in a different physicals body, that is mentioned in most of all the Upanishads. Second principle, that is karma and actions. Whatever karma and actions that you are going to do, that it's same going to return back to you. Third is going to talk about your full potentials, and they are going to talk about dharma. What is your dharma? So your dharma is a moksha dharma. What is your purushartha? According to that, whatever Veda has decided in which part of your life cycle you are in, you are going to choose that dharma and your full potential. What all this capability you have as a human being. So they are going to talk about this in most of all the Upanishads. Fourth principle is moksha or liberation. This ultimate life goals of moksha. And that is why these are all moksha shastras. So Upanishads are moksha shastra. You are not going to read this Upanishads to get some wealth out of it. Or this is not a some kama shastra that you can find some enjoyment and entertaining story. That is only and only for liberation. So the only purpose of Upanishads is how to give you guideline to get liberated. So the goal of life is self-actualization. When you are moving on this Maslow hierarchy need from a physical or a safety need to self-actualization's need. So this is the highest dimensions of need that is going to be effortlessly is going to become inside these humans. And once it is come, they are going to find tools of this self-actualization, that is Upanishads. Everyone is divine, everyone has the same capability to find that true nature. So no one is a higher and no one is in a lower space. Everyone has same capability. As part of Upanishad's knowledge, everyone can start practice. So moksha is not for someone and for not for something else. Everyone can be part of this practice of moksha. And the theory of God is also not that in Upanishads that okay, not, there is not a one God and that they have created you. You are God itself. You have the divine powers. Work for yourself. Uddhare datma datmanam datma navasayadare. So the self is going to help you out to get that self. So you don't require any external support. Yourself is sufficient to realize by itself. So no extra tools and technologies are needed. When we will go more focus on that Uttar Mimamsa Darshana part, then we are going to see why they are not using any tools and technology that other darshanas are using as a evidence and tools or some sadhanas that okay, do this meditations or do these asanas or read these things. No, they said no, nothing is required. You are already self-realized. You are already self-realized. You just need to pay attention to that. In a sixth topic, how did life arise? So what the fundamental questions all these Upanishads they are teaching is the life management, the creative force, how it is coming and originated and how that is going to be dissolved. So this universe is not random. There are some cause and this universe is karya. This is a effect of something that is a fundamental cause. So what this fundamental cause and how that cause and effect is happening, we are going to learn this natural law. In seventh dimension, that what is human being, what we are saying that okay, this is my physical body, so this physical body is me or something else. Because when we are seeing some smartphone or some other gadget that have some three tier architecture, they have physical body, they have this software, and they have this energy, the batteries and other things. So it's a three-tier architecture. These instruments are making the same way. These humans also have some architectural model. So they have sthula, sukshma, karana, gross and subtler and casual body, or they have five-tier architecture: annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanmaya, anandmaya, and beyond. So there are different analogies and understanding of what this we called as a human or who you are actually. Atmanam rathinam vidhi shariram rathamevatu buddhim tu sarathim vidhi manaha pragrahamevacha. So this atma and this physical body, and they are going to use lots of these analogical terms so that we can able to understand who we are really as a human being. Higher self. All these Upanishads are going to talk about this higher self or that self or Atman that we called about. And what is Gunadharma, what are properties of this Atman or Brahman. Every Upanishad are here and there by their own language they are going to talk about. So you contain this all universe. So yatha pinde tatha brahmande. Whatever you are going to realize in this human body, same is in a universe. So jiva and brahma both are same. The purpose of human life. So the same Vedas is also talk about human life. They have four purpose: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But now when we are coming into moksha shastras, the only purpose of human life is to get liberated. There is single pointed purpose of human life. So all these Upanishads, wherever you go, they say there are Shreya and Preya. So prayer, whatever that likable, or dharma, artha, kama, that is one purpose, and last that is a shreya, that is your moksha dharma. So this all these Upanishads, they are going to talk about that purpose of your life is only to know yourself. Duality is an illusion. In Upanishads, they are focused on Advaitavada, non-duality. So there will be no Purusha and a Prakriti. There will be no some Jiva and another is a Paramatma. There will be no materialistic world and no energy world. This mind and matter, matter and energy. They said there are no two things. There is only one, that is Brahma Satya, and all Jagat is Mithya, that is Maya. That is also everywhere you are going to learn that there is only one individual self, nothing else. And there is no need to look for that God and go to this different temples and different other these spiritual practitioners and these gurus and masters and get their blessings. You don't require that things. You are God yourself. You are creator of your own life. There are laws of karma, that is the only thing that is governing it. So whatever good karma you are going to do, the same result is going to come. If you are doing a bad karma, the same result will come. So you can only liberate yourself. No one can help you out. So in this Upanishads, they are going to say in a Chandogya Upanishads, they said, you are that Brahman right now in this moment. You don't need to go and in future you are going to become something. Because if you are something right now, that you are asat, you are physical body, so you cannot transform into energy or you cannot transform into Atman. So that properties of Atman right now is there. You just need to realize that. So you are just realizing, you are just discovering your own self. There are no some new invention you are going to create. So that is also 11th principles we are going to learn, that you are that tat tvam asi. Need for guru. When we are going to learn in Upanishads and the style of Upanishads, there are two-way transformations. So this teacher and student and teacher, they have this very great one-to-one relationship, and they are working together to find this truth. So for that, you require some type of external support as a guru. We have in Chandogya Upanishad Uddaleka and Shvetaketu, or in a Katha Upanishad Yamas and the Nachiketa. So Yama is going to taught this Nachiketa about this art of living and art of dying. So this all these stories and all this understanding of knowledge transformations, it's a two way. So there will be some guru and there will be students. Quality of Sishyas, that Vivek, Vairagya, Shata Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. So this four quality is required for this receiver end. Whoever is going to come as a self-realized, they need to have this four quality, or they need to create or establish that quality in a future. Quality of guru also, when this transmitter, that they are going to taught about this Atma Vidya or self-realization technique, they should be Kshotriya, Brahmanishta, and they have read the scriptures and Shastras. They are also doing this practice of self-realization. So it's not always you get a self-realized guru, but even they are very pure by their heart, and they are going to help you out in upliftment. style of Upanishads. So what this style of Upanishads is, dialogue between Guru and Shishya. All the Upanishads, there will be some questions are going to arise, and that answer is going to become by their masters or teachers. So it's always dialogue and always like a question answer session. So someone has their own questions of that life. The same thing happened for this Raman Maharshi when they are in a deep meditative states, and once they are just opening their eyes, they are seeing his physical body is far away and he is sitting here, and seeing, oh, what is that? That physical body is there and I am here. So who am I really? Either that or this, that or this. That questions arise. That who am I? Because now I am seeing there are two eyes. Before I was thinking there will be only one eyes. So that two different self he realized, and that questions are arise. So these questions that we are going to learn in this Upanishads or dialogue with gurus and sishyas is not someone has read in some library book and said, okay, what is Atma and what is Jiva. No, they have realized and they have these real time issues, that okay, now what I should do. I'm in this the final stage of liberations and there are some issues are happening, can you guide me in that? So there are the practical approach that whenever you are moving on this line, and then you will have some issues, practical issues, and you are going to fix these issues with this master. So either this Prashna Upanishad or Kain Upanishad, everywhere this all sadhaka spiritual practitioners have middle of their spiritual journey, they have these questions, real lifetime questions, and there is only one questions: how I can be liberated. There are no other questions. How I am going to survive, how I am going to build my home, how I am going to build my family. There are no like multiple questions. All these questions are only single pointedness, that is moving toward their self realization. Anything else, it's all part of secondary, that can be taken care when you are going to move on this final stage of moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, it been going to maintain by nature, you don't need to worry about. That is why whoever is walking on this path of moksha, they call as a sannyasi. Samyak nyasah iti sannyasi. All that fulfillment and job, how they are going to live, how they are going to survive, it is been going to taken care by prakruti. All this society, all help is going to be come for them who are moving on this final destination of moksha. And if they have any issues in questions, they are moving to these masters. So Satyakamas and Nachiketas and all this Prashnopanishad, all you are going to see there are some dialogues between Guru and Sishyas. In the styles of Upanishads, there are lots of stories. Satyakamas and Nachiketa stories of Vairagya, Prashna Upanishads, the six students going to come to Piplada to get knowledge. So there are all the one will be always a dialogue, and second style it's a storytelling way of learning. So there are lots of different stories. Satyakama stories, the seeker of truth, a dialogue with God, of death, Nachiketas and Yajnavalkya and Maitreya in Brihadaranya Upanishads, the world beyond. What are the different steps of realizations? It's been explained by storytelling techniques, by whom this implayed moves the world, the highest learning, then Reikwa, Kart, and all these different stories that we are going to learn. The story of Indra and Virochana, light of the light, and the quarrels among the all senses, and how that energy dimension is come into that pictures, and dialogue between Uddalaka and Yajnavalkya, the story of the three dimension, this Devata and Danavas and humans all are going to Brahman and asking some guidelines, and Brahma is giving only single word, that is the to all of them. So for the for Daya, the for Dama, and the for give this charity donation, Dana. Because these humans They are always grabbing and grabbing this material wealth, and they don't want to share. So that is why they say, okay, for human, that will be also the. What this the is? Danam. You need to do this danam. You need to do this donation. This evil people, these Rakshasas and Danavas, what they are doing? They are not helping others and always do these mischievous things. So they said, okay, now you need to use this daya bhava, karuna bhava. You should need these transformations of emotions. You are always in anger and hatred. That is why you are performing these wrong duties, wrong dharmas. So to transform this dharma or transform your actions and karmas, you should practice the da for daya, and the higher dimensional Swargas, these devas, these god and goddesses, they are always in a part of enjoyment, all this sensory enjoyment, nothing else. They don't have any purpose in their life to only kama shastra enjoyment. So they said, okay, you need to do dhamma, indriya nigraha, mano nigraha. You need to learn these techniques of self-controlling this self senses. So the so very enlightening stories we are going to learn in Upanishads. Dialogue between Gargi and Yajnavalkya, story of Upakoshla, story of Ushaksti, story of how that creation is going to happen. There are lots of hundred and thousands of stories. What is essence? So see, again, basic essence of Upanishads is moksha dharma. So to realize yourself and giving these tools and guidelines how you can move ahead with your actions of moksha. And these are the main two quests: search for that reality and quest for happiness, means sukha prapti, dukha nivrutti, and realize yourself. So that is purpose or essence of Upanishads. So this spiritual upliftment, moksha, is the only purpose of my life. There are some psychotherapeutical concept is also taught in Upanishads, in Mundaka Upanishads, and other, how you can balance your senses, and how you can practice vairagya to move ahead with part of Upanishads. Because see, you need sankalpa. When said, okay, upa nihi sadas, and what is nihi? Means determination. So how I can get that determination? So determination, it's going to come by sankalpa. So there are some practical tools of how you can practice this sankalpa. There are some sadesha, there are some ritual therapy, hypnosis and brahma kavacha. There are lots of techniques are also uh, taught on Upanishads, so that you have that firm determination. So all this vyavdhana, vyadhi, sthana, sanshaya, pramada, alasta, virati, the all this vyavdhana that you can stop, and then you can have victory over these hurdles of spiritual practice, and you can move ahead with this practice of self-realizations. So these are Upanishads highlight. There are Kaivalya Upanishads, Mandukya Upanishads. That is also so part of Vedas. How many mantras? How many chapters are there? What is basic prayer? Who are their acharyas? What are the stories, and who are these students? They are coming in this Mandukya Upanishads, and is there any Mahavakya or not? And there are some IMP mantras. So that once we will complete this part of Upanishads, we will again come back to this highlight what we have learned so far. The Prashna Upanishad, Atharvaveda, 67 mantras, 6 chapter, and all chapters have the different questions. And Piplada is a Acharya, and there are 6 students are going to become. So that way we have very great highlights and summary of all 10 major Upanishads. So this Upanishads, we have 1815 shlokas, Brahma Sutra 550 or 555, and Bhagavad Gita we have 700. So total is going to come as a 3066. So in a Prasthanatraya, we have this Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras. Upanishads, 12 major Upanishads, 1815 verses, Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapter, 700 verses, and Brahma Sutra we have four chapters, that will be 555 verses. So total 3066 verses. If we can able to understand and analyze and able to implement in our life, that we can able to crack this moksha by just applying this formula. 3066 formulas in our day to day life we can able to enlighten. So Upanishada, Upa and Nihi and Sad. So three step, Upa, Ni and Sad. One way we have the student or Jigyasu or seeker, and another way we have this teacher or Jnani. Upa, what will be duty of students? They need to approach teacher. Teacher is not going to approach you. That is very fundamentals of teaching. Students will always go to teacher. So in Upanishad, the first part, student is going to approach teacher. When they approach this teacher, they will give some discipline so that he can able to be as a student. In the Nihi, firm determination, they need to come with firm determination that I want to study, I want to self realization, and I am going to practice whatever is going to given to me by my teacher. And this teacher from Nihi, it will give some inspirations and motivations that is needed in a student for Nishchaya, determinations. Help them by giving the stories and some affirmation techniques and some willpower techniques, sankalpa techniques, and all these different stories of Upanishads. They are going to tell this student. And at the end, the students, they are going to sit at the feet of teacher. And sad, what will be job of teacher? It's destroy avidya and ignorance in the teacher that has been come near to him or her. So that is three-step process of enlightenment. So three-step process of enlightenment is called Upanishads. And these are four qualities of a sadhaka or studenta: viveka, vairagya, mumukshutva, and shatasampati. Viveka, power of discrimination, what is real and what is unreal, what is true and what is false, what is object and what is shadow. What is vairagya, power of dispassion and detachment arising out of from unreal, untrue, false. And mumukshutva is power of desire, that I want this moksha. Moksha is only my single purpose, single purushartha, that is called as a mumukshu. And sadhana sampanna, six different sampatti, wealth, power of discipline, sama, dama, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, and samadhana. These are four qualifications to come in this faculty of jnana yoga. See, any faculty, when you are going, either you want to go in engineering or doctor or any other field, they require that okay, you have completed your 12th or not, do you have this minimum percentage in biology and maths or not. So same way, when you are going to get admissions in this Upanishadic process, teacher is going to ask or testify these four qualifications are there or not, or you are going to satisfy these four qualifications or not. And how this journey of Upanishads is going to be performed. So there will be three-step process. That first you will start wherever you are, from the gross world, from Sthula Sharira to Sukshma Sharira, from Sukshma Sharira to Karana Sharira. So this gross to subtler body, from subtler body to casual body, and going beyond. So this journey is always going to start from where you are. You are in a physical layer. You have this pain and pleasure and all experience with this physical body and senses. So you are going to start from that and you are going to move ahead. And these five external shet or coating or koshas that all Upanishads are talking about, that okay, these humans have these five tier architectures of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya kosha. And they are all talk about this truth, what is ultimate truth. So when they are talk about this truth, just be understand this truth is like akasha, that is all pervasive, unconnected with that things that is existing inside or outside. And karma, there will be sanchita prarabdha and agami karma. They are talking about this theory of karma. Translations of Upanishads, there are some lots of and great translations are available. There are many Vaishnava also have these translations of Upanishads, and one of the very popular translation is Max Muller, and he have done a very fantastic job to do this word by word translations of Upanishads. But there are some issues in lots of translation and his translation also, because he is not a very great Sanskrit scholar, and etymologies and other things he is not very well understood, and he is from western side, so the eastern philosophy, it is very difficult for him. So there are lots of mistakes are happen, and the wrong interpretations, and they have created lots of bad hazards also. So only thing, when we are going to learn or go and read this Upanishads, we need to find who is author, like who is putting this commentary aside. So they like um, with a great heart, and with a scholarly they are coming, then we should read that Upanishads, because it's very intense knowledge, and lots of complex words are being used in Upanishads. So if someone is not properly interpreting their message, something wrong message can be conveyed by you. So that's only we need to take as a precaution, that Upanishads are vehicle of illuminations and not of instruction. So it's not okay, this is one to do that. Okay, read every day Bhagavad Gita, wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and do this pranayama. It's not just a part of some instruction. It's a vehicle, it's a tools that going to transform yourself. So self transformation mechanism is a living body that is going to come inside you as a Upanishadic process and going to elevate in a higher dimensions. So let's come for conclusion again. That is, this is not just a mere some instruction and just vague stories. All are truth, because all Upanishads are part of Vedas, and Vedas are the only truth. Shruti iti pramana. Shruti pramana. So these are a part of Veda philosophical ideas, and all conversations, set of texts, and all of above. So 10 main Upanishads we are going to cover, that are Shankara's favorite 10 Upanishads. And we all know what Adi Shankara is, the boy saint who restored all these Vedas like 1500 years before. These are Isha, Katha, Mundak, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitariya, Chandogya, and last is Bruhadaranya, and they are all part of Vedas. So when we are putting as a Upanishads, we need to give some reference. Says, okay, Isha is coming from Yajurveda, and again it is from a Shukla branch of Yajurveda. Kena Upanishads is part of Samaveda. Katha Upanishads is Krishna Yajurveda. Prashna Upanishada coming from Atharvaveda. Mundaka and Mandukya also from Atharvaveda. Remember, when we talk about Atharvaveda, when we talk in a Vedas chapter, Atharvaveda is later part of Veda. Before we have only three Vedas, three Shrutis. And then Atharva is like more practical form. There are some tantras and mantras and yantras, that how you can practically perform and get result. So this all Prashna Upanishada, Mundaka Upanishada, Manduka, it's more like a result oriented and applied way of knowledge. This Omkar Upasanas and other Upasana or meditations more focus on practices. So all this part of Atharva Veda, you are going to see they are directly go and focus on that, how I'm going to get that self realization. Other, they will all talk about how, but more focus on what and when and why, that questions are also going to be answered. But here they are not going to entertain that questions. They should only focus on practice, nothing else. Taittiriya Upanishads is part of Krishna Yajurveda, Aitareya Rigveda, Chandogya is a Samaveda, and Brihadayanya Yajurveda. So these are my 10 Upanishads. Central teaching the Isha is an inner ruler, that is Isha Tattva, that God particle is the only fundamental particle of all the reality, nothing else. Kena Upanishada, Kena Saha, who moves the world, who is the cause of that all this effect that we are going to see. Katha Upanishadas is death as being a teacher and story of Nachiketa. Prashna Upanishada, what is this breath of life? Prana Sharira, Prana Sharira. They are only focusing on the 6 different questions and focusing on pranas. Mundaka Upanishadas, 2 modes of knowing. This is Jiva and this Sakshi Bhava, this a tree. And on a tree, when we are seeing there are 2 types of bird, it's very popular words that we are going to learn. That one is in maintaining and doing and enjoying these 2 different fruits of samsara, and one that is as a witnessing part. So there are 2 parts inside ourselves. Mandukya Upanishadas is all about Omkar, consciousness, and Turiya Avasthas and different phases of our life. Taittiriya, from food to joy. Aitareya, microcosm of man. Chandogya, song and sacrifice. See, whatever this Samaveda is always like melodious songs that you are going to sing along in your day-to-day life. So all these Upanishads, if they are coming from Sama, you will going to see this lots of great lyrics and songs. And Brihadaranya, it's a huge Upanishad. There are lots of hundred and thousands of topics are there. So Ishakena Katha Prashna Mundak Mandukya Titi Chandogyam Vitaraya Bruhadaranyas. These are my 10 Upanishads that we are going to learn, and step by step each and every Upanishads we are going to learn. So now we have this foundation is covered, and we know what is central teaching of Upanishads. We will move this 10 major Upanishads step by step, and we know this sequence of Isha Kena Katha Prashna. So same sequence we are going to cover, and there are also some logic why this sequence is been there, why we are always starting with Ish and going to complete with a Bruhadaranya. From very simplest form of this knowledge that has been given in Isha Upanishads, and all these Aranyaka, all these jungles and wide forest of all different types of seekers, they are coming together, and they're all different types of stories. So a huge Upanishad is at the end. It's called as a Bruhadaranya Upanishads. Another logic they are saying why Isha is at the first, because Isha Upanishada, when we are going to get transition from Karma Kanda to Upasana Kanda and Upasana Kanda to Jnana Kanda. So we are studying Vedas. So when these seekers, they are always doing these rituals and lots of actions and effort. Slowly, they are going to move on this upasana. Now they are doing this emotional transformation. They are doing these prayers. They are doing this spiritual practice of meditations and other things. And now slowly they want to come to this jnana where nothing they need to do. All this vairagya, everything, all this spiritual practice, all their physical practice, all their families and all their detachment is going to be there. So this smooth transition should there. So for this smooth transition, Ishavasya is also putting some justice for karma and upasana also. Said, okay, you can still continue your karma kanda and upasana, and slowly grab this concept of jnana kanda. And in second step, from Kena Upanishada, major portion is going to come in a jnana kanda, that is Upanishadas. So this Isha is also great bridge of people who are coming from karma kandas and upasana kanda, and want to move to this final destination of their life as a moksha, because before they are like a student, gruhastha or vanaprastha ashram, and now they want to do this samyak nyasa. Slowly they need to renounce their day-to-day duties. So to this smooth transitions to take place, Isha is coming as a bridge. So let's start with Isha Upanishads, and we will move to Kena Upanishads and Prashna Upanishads, Katha Upanishads later on. First Upanishads is Ishavasya Upanishad. Very small Upanishad, consists of only 18 mantras and coming from Yajurveda. And this sutras, these mantras, you can able to use as your chanting, because see, you are coming from background of upasana kanda, you are coming from background of rituals, you want to do some pray, you want to do that chanting, you want to do these malas. So all these mantras, 18 mantra, you can able to chant. There are some chandas, you have that meter is going to given to you, so you can enjoy your previous practice of bhaktis and upasanas, and you can do this jnana also. So this is our Isha Upanishads. These Isha Upanishads are talk about if there are one god or some multiple gods. So monoism or versus theism. So these lords and Ishvara, because see, these people, they are coming with, oh, there are thousands of god and there are many gods, and which god to perform rituals and upasana. So there are lots of questions are happening. And when these questions are coming to rishis, they are going to give that genuine answers. So okay, I am believer of Shiva, I am believer of Krishnas, and I am believer of Jainas, and I am believer of Buddhas, and I go to this school of thought and that, and there are so many confusions, so many different seekers are coming, and all coming from that karma kanda to upasana kanda. So they are all like a upasana kanda. They have this multiple god in their head. They have their own belief system. So all questions are coming as how many gods are there? What is property of gods? What is Ishvara? Who is Ishvara? And from that, this Upanishadas begins that journey is giving answers of Ishvara, Ishvara Tattva. And there are some questions of pursuit of karma versus pursuit of self. That again, this is a transitory journey of seeker. They are doing their day-to-day job. They have their earning. They have their families and all other things. And they are taking some time off to start and see some glimpse of self. So there will be always a balance between this work and this self, how I can able to make that balance. So that questions are also asked in Ishavasya Upanishads. That should one wish to live 100 years on this earth, he should live doing karma. So while thus a man you live, there is no other way than this by doing karma. So they are giving this teaching of karma also. They are giving this teaching that, okay, this physical body, this mental body is also required. So shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. Shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. This is your tool. How you are going to perform this teaching of Upanishads if you don't have very great physical body and mental sharpness. So for that also they are giving these tools and technology to have that perfect body and mind. And this perfect body and mind you should have for 100 years. For 100 years. There will be some teaching of Vidya and Avidya. What is Avidya, what ignorance, and what this knowledge is all about, because we are moving on this Upanishads, Jnana Kanda. So we should ask about this Jnana, what is Vidya. Vidya, there will be Paravidya and Aparavidya. Some Vidya that is only related to material things, that all science and commerce and arts, that you are going to learn about objective world. But now this is different. You are going to learn about subjective world. So that Vidya and material Vidya, there will be some process differences. So they are going to also differentiate these different process tools and technology. But here you need sense organ. Here you don't require sense organ. It is more subtler understanding of your own self. So Paravidya and Aparavidya they are going to talk about. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्चित् जगत्यां जगत्तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा क्रुधः कस्य स्विधम्. Ishavasya idam sarvam. This is first shloka of Ishavasya Upanishad. Everything is Isha, everything is God, everything is God, everything is made out of this God particle that physics is now talking about. That all these materials, all these atoms are made out of this proton, electron, and neutron. If you go more deeper, if we have the string theory or energy field, and inside that, there is, we can find single element. From the single element of existence, everything is made. And that element they called as a God particle. And here Rishi is saying that Isha Tattva, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Everything that you are seeing in this reality or not seeing is made out of only one element, one Tattva, that is Isham, Isham, that Lord, this God, fundamental particles of existence. Renunciations and rejoice. Tena tyaktena bhunjetha. You need to renounce that material possessions and enjoy your own self without that possessions. That is central teaching of Ishavasya Upanishad. Mahatma Gandhi once said famously that if all the Upanishads and all other Indian scriptures were suddenly and irretrievably lost to humankind, we hope it's not going to be happen, but if the only first verse of Ishavasya, if that left in memory of Hindus and Sanatan Dharmi, Hinduism would live forever. Everything is got lost, all Vedas, all Upanishads, even Ishavasya is also going to lost if this one shlok, Ishavasyam idam sarvam tena taktena bhunjitha. If you can able to remember this one single shloka and applied in day-to-day life, it's giving all social dimensional spiritual upliftment and karma and upasana, everything is condensed in single shloka. So important shlokas. So this in dark night life, those whom the Lord, this transcendent self of ruler, that Isham is always there. Always there. So if you are going near to this God, this particle, then you are going to enlighten. Isha Vasyam. Isha simply means Lord or ruler, God. It is the root word of Ishvara, the Vedic term of supreme being. While some Upanishads are written as stories, the Isha isn't. It is straightforward set of philosophical reflections on one, Brahman and Atma. True knowledge of Vidya versus Avidya, false knowledge. specific fates that await those who see Vidya alone and those who reveal in Avidya alone. Both are tossed into the dark world of ignorance. So Vidya and Avidya, we need to go to Paravidya. Whoever like focusing, oh, I'm reading a lot and I'm doing this research and philosophy of what? Material things. So that Vidya. And if you are not knowing that material understanding, Avidya, both are going to s- go in this dark ignorance world. You need to move towards Paravidya, Vidya of self. The ways in which death can be overcome and immortality gains. That's the one teaching, central teaching of Isha, inner ruler, that God particle is maintaining all this world. 18 mantras. Verse 1, Jnana Yoga Sara, Nivrutti Marga. Second verse, Karma Yoga, Pravrutti Marga, because you are balancing both type of marga. So you are working also, you have your day-to-day job also, and you are starting your journey, first journey into Upanishads. So that is why it's a bridge that now you should have this Nivrutti Marga and this Pravrutti Marga, and how you can able to balance. And at the end, how you can go for this Mukti Marga. Second Upanishad is Kena Upanishad. This is also very small Upanishads coming from Samaveda, 4 chapter, and each chapter known as Kand or Adhyayas. There are total 35 mantras. So in Ishavasya we have 18, here we have 35 mantras. Kena, what is etymology? Kena, from where? When we are learning this Sanskritam, so we have this Vibhakti Prakrana, Karta, Karma, Karana. Kaha, Kim, Kena. So this instrumental case, this third vibhakti is always talking about from where, how, what are tools and technology you are experiencing this, what tools are needed. If I want to move, what vahanam you are taking. So this is more understanding of kena, means from whence this all coming from, what is final cause of all this effect that we are seeing. So that is central teaching of Kena Upanishad, central questions of Kena Upanishad. What is final cause? So word Kena means by whom or by what. So this Upanishad is an inquiry into nature of perception. So this concludes that by indicating that if they are asking by whom or by what, that Atman Tattva, that is the real power behind the working of this universe, both internal, Yatha Pinde, Tatha Brahmande, Jiva Anda and Brahma Anda. Both are working from that same Atman, same light is enlightening both this world. It is part of Samaveda, 4 sections. The first 2 sections reveals the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of ultimate truth. Third and fourth reveal the story through which some important facts about these gods and how you can able to find that ultimate cause of all this universe. First verse is very, very important of this Upanishads that say, by whom does the mind go forward towards its object? Being directed, by whom does the life force, this prana, proceeds to its function? And by whom implayed do the people utter their speech? And what luminicate force direct the eyes and the ears? That's the first question. Kena saha. Kena saha. Second verse, it is the year of year. This is answer of Kena saha. So it is year of year, the mind of the mind, and speech of the speech, and the life of the life, and eyes of the eyes, that wise who separate the Atman from the sensory function become immortal. So this drashta and drashyam, this drigadrashya viveka, if you can able to discriminate, have viveka of this is cause and this is effect, if you can able to separate this out, that wise people can able to enlighten. So first is questions, and in second answer is given. Drigadrashya viveka. The third and fourth verse, they are giving more detail of this practice of to see and experience this Atma, that I cannot approach it, neither speech or nor mind. We do not therefore know it, nor do we know how to teach it, because it's beyond this sense, beyond this mind. So it is different from what is known, and it is beyond what is unknown also. Thus, we have heard from our teachers who taught this Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. So, this is conversation with Kena Upanishad. Tell me, what is your burning questions has troubled you all night? What do you want to learn from me today? When this teacher is sitting and the students are there, teacher is asking, because students cannot sleep. They have these questions. Why my ears are listening something? Who is behind my ears? Why I am seeing something? So who is seeing through my eyes? I know that eyes cannot see something. They are jada, they are material, they don't have their own self-awareness. So that questions arise of this jigyasu sadhaka, spiritual seeker, when they are going to do these deep meditations, and then said everything is just happening, and even though my eyes are closed, even though my ears are closed, and I can able to hear, I can able to listen, I can able to see, so I know these instruments, these eyes and ears and all sense organs, they are not useful. Something beyond is governing this sense organ. I want to know that sense of this final authority who is controlling this sense organ. Teacher voice broke into this soliloquy. Let me tell you a story, and said the teacher, of how the gods were once humble, and I am all ears, sir. And the students, and is giving this very fun way, entertaining way of teaching, that how these gods and demons, and they have this because see, Upanishads is always, it's not very straightforward. They will put some lots of stories so that people can able to understand what is happening, and that way these teachings went. It's a very great Upanishad. If someone wants to go much more deeper, it's a great different stories, and lots of entertaining understanding of Atman Tattva. The students' inquiry and teachers' reply. So, who makes my mind think? Who fills my body with vitality? Who causes my tongue to speak? And then the self is the ear of ear, the eyes of the eyes. So, the self is answer. So, this is Kena Saha, these questions and answer. That's the Kena Upanishad. ॐ केनेषितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणः प्रथमः प्रैतियुक्तः केनेषितां वाचं इमां वदन्ति चक्षुः श्रोत्रं क उदेवो युनक्ति. By whom this commanded and directed does the mind go towards its object? Commanded by who does the life force, the first cause, Prana moves, at whose will do the speech, and what power direct the eyes and this ear. This question number one. Kena Upanishad. Kene Shitam. Kena Prana. So because of this Kena, this Upanishad is name given by this verse. क्षोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनो यद्वाचोह वाचं स प्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुश्चक्षुरतिमुच्य धीराः प्रेत्यास्मान् लोकादमृता भवन्ति. That self is the ear of the ear and mind of the mind and speech of the speech, the life of the life and the eyes of the eyes. The wise who are free from this sense organs, after leaving this world, they become immortal. And the self, you cannot realize with this sense organ because it's beyond this sense organ. Sense organ cannot reach that self. न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाग्गच्छति नो मनः न विद्मो न विजानीमो तथै तदनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदितादतो अविदितादधि इति शुश्रूषं पूर्वेषां येन तस्द्वया च चक्षिरे. This eyes does not go, nor the speech, nor mind. We did not know that. We did not understand how can it be taught. It is distinct from this known and unknown. This is what we have heard, and how you can realize that is cannot realize, that cannot be pursued because it's not object to pursue. So for to understand this concept, teacher is giving some stories and understandings, and this whole Upanishads went down. Very small Upanishad, 34 Upanishads. Introduction, it is coming from Samaveda. Who is Deva, or which leads to body? This Chaitanyam or consciousness or self. And Deha Vilakshana Vastu, this Drigadrashya Viveka is taught here in this Upanishads. Chapter 1, what is behind mind and prana and speech and eyes and ear and which makes them function? That is consciousness. Chaitanyamiti, Chaitanyamiti, not part or product or property of body. This is independent, exists beyond this boundary, survives death, not available for transaction, self-evident witness available in all experience. Pratibodha viditam aparokshanubhuti. Yaksh and the truth. There is great story to understand this concept of consciousness and these questions of what is behind mind and prana. They are explained by this story of Yaksha and the truth. Lord Agni, Vayu and Indra, slowly they will approach this Yaksh and they cannot defeat, and then they realize that okay, there are some beyond, because these all gods of Pancha Mahabhuta. So it's explaining this same concept by storytelling, giving some analogy that okay, even that Indra and Vayu Devta and air element and fire element, they cannot able to go that is beyond these five elements of nature, beyond this five element of sense, beyond this mind and beyond this energy body also. So when you do this neti, naha iti, drigadrashya viveka, to understand this, they are giving these great fascinating stories. And for upasana, lightening and winkling, thought, feel pervading pound, how to purify in tapa and dama and satsanga, there are some practices. All Upanishads are going to give this, what is Atma, how to reach these Atmas, and some stories. So 3 or 4 characteristics you are going to have in each and every Upanishad. If someone is asking to explain this Kena Upanishad, first it will be, we have this introduction, and in between we have this what we call this main theme about consciousness. No other questions they are asking, but asking of what is Atma, They are asking it kena saha, but always their questions is always about Atman, that self. Here they said is a Chaitanyam iti Atma. So that Chaitanyam, consciousness, awareness, mindfulness is Atman. And that is beyond of your three body or five bodies. And there will be some stories, and there will be some practical tools and technologies. So Manan Pradhan also, so Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So here they put this a second tier, because when we go in a Jnana Yoga, there will be three-tier architecture, three steps you need to do this practice of a Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So how to do Shravana, Upanishad needs to tell you. How to do Manana, where to do focus, means repeating and understanding by different Tarka Pradhana, Vakyas, Lakshana Pradartha. And at the end, you need to do this Nididhyasana, meditation. So this Upanishads is also Manana Pradhana. Do you know this Brahman? Brahman not known, or it is unknown. So this characteristic of pros and cons, and that way you can do this manana understanding, manana practice, and they are giving this Omkar Upasana also in a Kena Upanishadas. Katha Upanishad is also very major Upanishads, little bit longer, but very great stories is given in Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishads are belongs to Krishna Yajurveda. 109 mantras spread over two chapters, and every chapter has some adhyayas or vallis they called us. So these Upanishads of secrets of eternal life, in which a teenager walks up to death and has a long conversation with this death god, Yamas. So it's a dialogue between this young boy called Nachiketa and this god of death, Yamas. Two chapters or two adhyayas are there, and is divided into three sections called Vallis. This Upanishad is the legendary story of Nachiketa, the son of sage Vajashrava, who meets this Yama, Hindu deity of death. Their conversations evolves to discussions of nature of man's and knowledge, and what is Atma and self, and what is liberations. Katha literally means distress. So Katha is also name of that sage also. So both etymological name coming from this meaning distress. Story of Nachiketas. The Nachiketa's father gives away old and very sick cows as this offering in a Vishwajita Yagna. And Nachiketa is saying, said, okay, this dan and donation, they are not giving very precious things, but they are just giving this old and non-useful things to these brahmanas, and that is not good way. So he is approaching these fathers, and there are some conversations are happening. And the end of the conversation, they say, become angry, and then said, okay, I'm going to also donate you, because you are also likable to me, and when this dana I'm also giving you, and he's asking to whom you are going to give me. So okay, I'm going to give you death, go to death. So in a first valli, this son Nachiketa asking these questions to father. After this all conversations, and this father is becoming so angry, he said, dear father, to whom will you give me away? He said, it is a second and then and third time he's asking same question, Nachiketa. And father says by anger and reply, to death I give you away. And Nachiketa is saying that, okay, whatever my father is giving me instruction, I'm going to follow with firm determination. He left his house and go to this doorstep of Yamas. And this whole, these are these cows and what they are giving as a donations, and that is not a good way. So that is why this incident is started, and end with Nachiketa left his home to door of Yamas. and they have some conversations, and Yama is also very happy by having this conversation with this very young boy of Nachiketa, and he has lots of knowledge, and he is also testifying that if he has determinations to be um, in this spiritual life, because see, as a teacher you should have testify this student if they are coming to atma jnana. So there are shad sampakti, vivek, vairagya and mumukshutva are there or not. The yama is testing, and then once he finally approved, he is teaching that atma jnana. So this is story of Nachiketas, and this big yajnas is happening, and this young boy is just seeing what is happening in these yajnas, and they have this different conversation between their friends and seeing why these things is happening. These cows, they are very ill and not useful for them when you are giving this away. So he is approaching, to whom will you give me away, father? Because it's a you need to be, if you are doing this donation, you need to give something that is very precious for you, and I'm very precious for you, so you should give me away. I rather giving this old cows. And this father becomes so angry and said, okay, I'm going to give you Nachiketa to death. And with firm determinations, Nachiketa went to death. And after this, father also realized and asking, okay, I'm sorry, I just in a anger mood. But then Nachiketa said, no, it's once his instruction is given, I'm going to go back to death. And then I will wait till until Yama comes. He waited 3 days, because when he went to Yama's home, there was no one there because he has some other work to do. So he's waited there 3 days, and when this Yama coming back, he said, "You are waited 3 days, and you are my guest. So I haven't offered you food and shelter. That is my first job. So I'm sorry for that. And to compensate that, I am going to give you three boons because you have waited 3 days." So these three boons been asked by this young man, Nachiketa. The first boon is said that, okay, my father is very angry, so I want to make sure when I go back, he will accept me as his son, and we have very happy and a great family life. And that boon is accepted. Second boon, they said that there are some higher dimensional lokas are there. We call as a swarga, where the divine God and goddesses are living, and they do lots of enjoyment. So I want to know that vidya, I want to know that knowledge, how I can uplift myself from Manushya Loka to Deva Loka. And that boon is also accepted by Yamas. And they said that Agni, that we call, is as a Nachiketa Agni. So all this practice and tools is been explained very well by Yamas to Nachiketa. And third question is asking, what is happening after this death? And there, this Atma Jnana, he need to testify. This Nachiketa has that quality of this, what we call this prerequisite for Atma Jnanas. And he's giving all these different desires, that okay, I'm going to give you this kingdom of all this earth and all this other part of enjoyment. Nachiketa, is this going to be there for all the times? Is it eternal? So she said, no, it is not eternal. Once you are going to die, again you will be poor or whatever your karma. So she said, no, I don't want anything that is transitory. I want something that is eternal. And that way Yama is going to give this analogy of self, what is Atma, and how this process of death is going to happen, how that jiva is moving in these different phases of this life and death journey. So very well explained this Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi Shariram Ratham. This great analogy of chariot is explained. And at the end, Nachiketa is coming back to his fathers, and they enjoy very well and taught this Atmagyana to others, Sishyas. So this Nachiketa goes to Yama, the lord of death, but he has to wait for 3 nights before he gets to see Yama. Yama grant him 3 boons, one of each of the 3 nights that Nachiketa has to wait. First boon, my father should be free from anxiety and recognize me without anger when I go back. Granted. Tell me all about the fire that can lead me to heaven where there is no pain. Granted. And that fire name is called as a Nachiketa fire. Third boon, after death, whether the self exists or doesn't. Yama discussed him from insisting on this boon. Yama promises Nachiketa essentially anything but not the knowledge about self, but he insists on learning about life after death. Nachiketa says, what you offer is not a boon, that is just a curse, not blessings, as there are temporary pleasures. You know all about life and death and are most qualified to teach me. Yama had no choice over than to give him the ultimate knowledge about breath and the self. Shreyas and prayers. Before giving this self-knowledge, he testified and said that wise men choose the desirable and unwise men pleasurable. So you choose this Shreya. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah tau samparitya विविनक्तिधीरः श्रेयो हि धीरोऽपि प्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते. So he picked the desirable one. So no, I don't want that material possession. I only need Atma Jnana, nothing else. And that is why Yama is pleased and start giving this Atma Jnana. So this first theory of good versus dearer, Preya and Shreya. The good and the dear approach the man. The wise man pondering over both. Distinguish them. Wise one choose the good over the dear. The fool, acquisitive and craving choose the dearer one. And they are talk about what this nature of self. They are also giving this analogy of chariot. That chariot is body, 5 horses are your 5 senses, these reins are your mind, intellect is charioteer, passenger is yourself or your jivatma or ego self, and road are sense object. So in third worldly, this parable of chariots. आत्मानं रथिनं विद्धि शरीरं रथमेव तु बुद्धिं तु सारथिं विद्धि मनः प्रग्रहमेव च इन्द्रियाणि हयानाहुर्विषयांस्तेषु गोचरान् आत्मेन्द्रियमनोयुक्तं भोक्तेत्याहुर्मनीषिणः. The self is the rider of chariot, where body is just a chariot. Intelligence is charioteer and mind is the rein. Senses are horse and the object are the road. The self associated with body and mind is the enjoyer. So this way they are starting this Atma Jnana. What is Atma and what is Atma is not. So this very great analogy, the same analogy is used in Bhagavad Gita also. So this is very great things to remember who you are as self and what is your 5 tier, 7 tier architectures. So it's a great way to understanding this analogy of self and non-self. So this is transcendent nature of yourself. And in theory of Atma, oneness and plurality is taught in fourth Valli. And how to realize self, that is also taught Uttishthata Jagrat प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गम् पथस्तत्कवयो वदन्ति. This is one of the favorite verse for Swami Vivekananda. Always quote this. Uttishthata jagrat prapya varan nibodhata, because you need this inspirations and motivations, because it's a very huge journey, and kshurasya shakha, it's very difficult path of self realizations. It's like walking on this path of razor edge. So that is not easy. Though someone is renouncing, they don't require, they don't want this all in. We as a sansari family, and we have lots of stressful situations. We need to manage finance, we need to manage the social, we need to family and all other stuff. Oh, you have nothing to do, you are just sitting ideally and just closing your eyes, your life is very easier. No, spiritual life is much more tougher than this family life. It's like walking on this razor edge, because this enlightening self-realization is not very easy task. So for that, you require this motivation. Uttishthata jagrat prapya varan nibodha, one of the favorite quote of Swami Vivekananda. Arise, awake, you are treading the razor edge. Uttishthata Jagrat Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Get up, wake up, and pay attention to all the blessings that you are receiving right now. Sharp as the razor's edge is the path, they say, more arduous than can be conceived. What is highest joy and what is going to happen after death is explained in fifth Valli. And theory of yoga, how to practice this self-realization. What is yoga, what are pranayamas and meditation techniques are explained in sixth Valli, the final one. So Nachiketa at the end attains the supreme self, becomes free from virtue and vice, free from desire and ignorance, understand yoga in totality. Others too, by knowing the inner self, will attain Brahman. They attain Brahman, the supreme self. Om, Om, the peace will be with them. So this is final conclusion of Katha Upanishad introduction. Vajasrava, father and son, 10 years of Nachiketa, 3 boons are asked by son to Lord. Peace of mind for this father, rituals to attain Svargaloka and Atma Vidyas. Great analogy of bodies and chariot is given. Definitions of different Atma Tattva is also explained. And in the last Valli, yoga, practicing of yogas. Let's move to section 7, what we have learned, that is called as a Prashna Upanishads. The Upanishads belong to Atharvaveda, like the Mundak and Mandukya Upanishads. The Upanishads called as a Prashna Upanishads because it's starting with these questions. These 6 disciples are coming to this guru named Piplada. There are 6 chapters, and every chapter start with this question. So there are 6 chapters and 6 questions are asked by 6 different disciples, with this 67 total mantra in this Upanishads. So let's go to this story of Piplada and this 6 seekers. They are coming from different backgrounds, and they have different inquiries when they start their journey. So this Prashna Upanishad, 67 verse introduction, is from Atharvaveda. Guru is Piplada. Elaborations on the Mundaka Brahmana portion, Prashna Upanishad mantra, is also very precise, And this first chapter, the Kabandi, the first disciple Kabandi, is asking these questions of Atma and Anatma Viveka, Sthula Sharima. What is this Sthula Sharira? What is this gross body? And how are these creatures are born? And Prajapati, and at the end, the answer is given that Prajapati created this pair of matter and mind, matter and energy. Matter is Rai, and energy we called as prana. So all this existence, all this universe, how that's been created, that is the first questions. And answer is everything is made out of two things: energy and matters. Matter are transformed into energy, and energy again transform into matters. When matters want to come together, it's required energy, and when they are broken down, energy is going to be released. So everything is just a exchange and transformations of energy and matter, and that is what science, quantum physics is also saying the same thing, that our rishis have already given this answer of everything is exchange of matter and energy. Chapter 2, Bhargava is asking, okay, this is Sthula Sharira, gross body, I can able to understand. So from matter to this energy dimension, this is Sukshma Sharira. I want to understand what is the second dimensions of this analogy of this human existence, that is called as a Sukshma Sharira. So how many factors is supporting this living being as a Sukshma Sharira, and what enlighten us, and the all detailing about Sukshma Sharira he is asking as a second chapter and second questions by Bhargava. Third questions in third chapter, Kaushalya is asking these questions or more detailing of Sukshma Sharira, son of Ashwalyana. Where is this prana and this ego is going to born? So from Sukshma Sharira, he is taking these questions to Karana Sharira. How does this he dwell inside and find this Sukshma Shariras and cause of this Sukshma Sharira? How does this prana is going to live, how does their support and the external things that are energy dimension and mechanism of energy dimension and sukshma sharira, subtler body. In fourth chapter, Gargya is going to ask these questions as a karana sharira, third tier as a casual body, sthula, sukshma and karana. So this is also sequential questions, so it's not just a random questions. When some answer is coming and they satisfied, another have these questions that okay, what is beyond this? So sthula, sukshma and karana. And once these all three different questions have been asked by this four different questioner, this disciple in a fifth chapter, fifth disciple Satyakama is asking this practical tool of move this self or consciousness in these three different dimension of life, sthula, sukshma, karana, gross and subtler and casual bodies, is Omkar Upasana. So all this practice of Omkara, how to practice O and Ma, and how you can transcend yourself and move yourself in these three different dimension or three different world. The same Vidya we are going to learn in Mandukya Upanishads is also explained very well in Prashna Upanishads as part of answer 5. And in 6, when you are moving beyond this Turiya Avastha, when you are moving from individual self to universal self, then this new realizations is happening. So there you will have this higher dimensional body, universal body, and there you have different tools. There you just have sthula, sukshma, karana, sharira. There you have like 16 different parts, so 16 limbs. So what are these limbs and how you can able to control and analyze this limb as a purusha of 16 part? So this final questions is on a higher dimensional plane. So 6 questions, 6 disciples and their answers, part of Prashna Upanishads. So summary of questions and answer. Question 1. What is the fundamental factor in the world of objects? So Prajapati is the fundamental factors, creator who himself become matters and energy. They embrace each other and provide us the vital world of pluralities. Question 2. What are the fundamental factors in this body structure? Body is maintained by sense organs and they are made efficient by pranas, energy. Question 3 and some sub questions. From where this ego born? Ego is just a reflection in the mind, born like a shadow when it is in the presence of Atman, self. How does this ego leaves the body? By force of udana, this pranic body. When they are going to talk about this five different prana, apana, vyana, samana. This udana is a urdhva prana that is giving you this ability to move upward. So if you want to take out of your jiva, if you want to transcend from, if you want to go to karana sharira or a sukshma sharira, you need to take out of your this self consciousness from sthula sharira. So what tools are needed? So said udana pran, udana jayat jalapanka kanta kadishwa sanga cha. So this udana, by utilizing this upward movement, you can able to take out of consciousness from bodily awareness and move to this subtler body. How does that ego support external things through this pran, apana, samana, vyan, and udan? So this all energy management and their practical use is explained in question 3's answer. In question 4, how ego center functions in a man in deep sleep. So that swamped in ignorance, avarna shakti, or that call as a maya, is helping, because when we are saying that okay, in a sthula sharira, this energy is handling this sthula sharira. In a sukshma sharira, this energy have this different dimension to handle. But what is going to happen in third dimension when I am not a jagrat or not in a swapna avastha? So I'm in a deep sleep and I'm not aware about myself. So how that maintenance is happening? So that is called as a maya. And on what does this waker, dreamer, and the sleeper depends on? So it's depend on always on self, that is Atma. Which organs sleep in man? So organ of knowledge, action, and mind. So when we are going to sleep, what other things are also going to be sleep? Which organs is awakened when you are going to sleep? So 5 prana, biological functions, are still there. And which devtas, like higher dimensional energy, are cease in when you are going to deep sleep? So this Taijasa, that ego identified that mind is there to give this dreaming state, and on which do all this all depends on, that said is the Sakshi Bhava. Fifth questions: to what world does he go who amongst men meditate on Omkar? So fifth is all on a meditation. So how I can practice and what are these benefits and phalas? So when you practice when you practice Omkara, you are going to go on a Brahma Loka, that is called as a Kramik Mukti. So it's a Kramik Mukti step by step. So from here in you will go to Brahma Loka to higher Loka, higher Loka. That way, slowly, slowly, you can able to go for self-realizations or moksha. So these are different stages of your Omkar meditations in a different birth. Slowly, as a kramik sequential way, you are going to release. It's not like a sudden self-realization is going to happen with Omkar Upasana. It will be very kramik mukti. So there are kramik mukti, sequential, and akramik mukti. So this Omkara is kramik mukti. So different stages are also explained very well in this Upanishads. And where is Purusha with all this 16 part located? That is final questions. That is also Atma, which is located in the intellect of Pragya, heart. So this is what Prashna Upanishads. There are 6 seekers: Sukesha, Satyakama, this Garga, Kausalya, Bhargava, and Kabandi. These 6 disciples, 6 seekers are coming to Piplada and asking these questions and get this understanding, and they all become self-realized. So this is we call as a Prashna Upanishad. 6 questions by 6 rishis All the Sikha rishis are Sukesha, Satyakama, Gargya, Kaushalya, Bhargava, and Kabandi, and answered by the one of the great sage avatar of Lord Shiva and son of the Jichi Rishi is Piplada. So Piplada is answering and satisfying hunger of all the six seekers. First questions by Kabandi: from where all this creation are born? Second question be Bhargava, what are the energy that sustain the body? So this is prana. Third questions, give me this distributions of prana. How many different pranas and how did it enter into body? How did it distribute itself and how did it go out of the body? So prana, apana, samana, vyana, and udana, and all their functions and distributions of energy inside this physical body. Fourth questions by Gargya. When a man's body is asleep, who is within that is going to sleep and who is going to awaken? So when mind is going to deep sleep, all sense organ, this Atman is still be there. So this what is sleep and what is dream is very well explained in these questions. Question 5, Satyakama, if one meditate on Om, what does one gain by that? So this Omkar Upasana is explained in this five questions 5, that what and how I can able to practice this omkaras, that the first mantra is the second mantra is and third mantra is mam. So and mam, by practicing with attention on Manipur chakra at navel region, second mantra with attention on Anahat chakra at the heart dimension, and third mantra mama with attention on Agya chakra between the eyebrows, you can able to realize ultimate reality by practicing Omkar mantras. And sixth question by Sukesha, this prince asked me if I knew the person with 16 parts. I said I knew him not. Then the prince rode away. Can you please tell me where is that person? That 16 qualities of that person, that higher Param Purushotta, higher dimensional self. So who is the being with 16 attributes? Of course, that is ourselves, the 16 kalas. So they call as a dayas and dhairya and kshama, nyaya, nritya. All these 16 attributes are very well explained in these final questions. So this is what we learned about Prashna Upanishads. Let's Prashna Upanishads. Mundaka Upanishad is our fifth Upanishad. Mundaka is name as a head. So by name of this head, this name of Upanishad is given. So Upanishad belong to Atharvaveda. The Upanishad of a big shade in which two little birds teach us a great truth. That is Mundaka. There are great sutras, shlokas we have get from this Mundaka Upanishad. Questions of Angiras. I want to know from you if there is something I can learn which will explain everything. By learning one, everything is going to be known. So that Vidya, Paravidya, and that is Omkara. Shivo Bhutvam Shivam Yaje, Shivo Bhutva Shivam Yaje. That is Satyameva Jayate. It's part of Mundaka Upanishad. So the story is Brahma arose of the first among gods and creator and protector, and this story of Angir to Satyavaha and Angiras. One day, the householder Shaunaka went to pay the sage Angiras a visit and carrying a firewood as every student does, and ask, "What is it, Bhagwan?" Knowing which that everything else may be known. So then it's giving this understanding of there are two kind of knowledge, the higher and the lower, the vidya and that is paravidya. So that understanding of vidya and paravidya is very greatly explained in this mundaka, means higher dimensional knowledge, mundaka knowledge, that which mind cannot grasp and eye cannot see, that which has no hand, no feet, no family, no caste, no color, no eyes, no ear, as if from that deathless one spring all life, as sea can strand from the spider issues, as plants sprout from this earth on cue, as hair grows on a man without much ado, the universe spring from him in the sage view. That's the central teaching of Mundaka. And then Shaunaka again asking that, okay, please go on, sir. This is the truth, Shaunaka. This performing all this, the rituals to understanding this Paravidya, you can able to enlighten. So that Paravidya is very well explained in this Mundaka Upanishads. Now is giving this story is an example of this two little bird. Now let me tell you a story, Shaunaka, about two birds on a tree. They are inseparable. These two always within sight of each other, always coming to rest on the same trees. One of them is usually perched on a lower branch. Let's call her the lower bird, the other golden and radiant perches on higher one. The lower bird knows well that her companion is around somewhere near her and dearly wants to spend more time with her. But even as the thought crossed her mind, she spotted luscious looking fruits, and waves of desire washed over her, wiping the thought of her friend from her mind. And she hopes eagerly towards the fruits and begins to eat, enjoying the taste of it. Once she has finished, her mind's begun to drift towards her friend again. But suddenly another fruit catches her eyes, even more juicy and juicier than that, and again go back. So this is life of sansara. It's very well explained in Mundaka Upanishad. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam bruksham parishasvajate tayoranya piplam swadattayan shasnanyo abhichakashiti. Very popular shlokas. So this is Mundaka Upanishad, 64 verses, 3 chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. Shaunaka's questions and Angiras is answering these definitions of Vidya and Paravidya, Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Paravidya definitions of Brahman, birth of being like a spark of fire. And it's also nature of Brahman, Omkar meditations, that is notice broken cause of bondages in 10th verse in section 1 of chapter 3, and this great stories of two birds. And at the end, again, virtues, nature of liberation, Atma Sakshatkar, and our this Upanishad is completed. Mundaka Upanishad. So, chapter 122 verses, introduction, come out of Atharvaveda, Guru is Angiras and student is Saunaka. All the Upanishad, this thing we need to always remember. And answer the field of knowledge, Paravidya, higher knowledge, or Paravidya, lower knowledge. And very greatly explain this all different teachings of Mundaka Upanishad. meaning is shaven heads as Mundaka Upanishads, and it's a major Upanishads. Om is the bow, and it's a very great analogy of Omkara practice is also given here in Mundaka Upanishads. Let's move to sixth Upanishad, that is Mandukya Upanishad. It is also coming from same Atharvaveda Upanishads and is also it's explaining this process of Atma Sakshatkar self-realizations with Omkar Upasana. Mandukya Upanishad of frog, in which we learn that there is no grace like Om. So this analogy of frog is given. It's a manduk. Manduk is frog because this quantum jump. So they are teaching how this frog are jumping from one position to another position. Same, this consciousness is jumping from sthula to sukshma, sukshma to karana sharira, and come back again. Same way. So how consciously I can able to jump in this three different dimension of this life, that is Jagrata, Swapna, and Shushupti. Wakeful state, dreaming state, and sleeping state, and fourth state of Turiya. So by using this ability of Mundaka or Mandukya, this froga, the same like frog, how I can able to jump. So this analogy is given as a frog, and this technique of Omkara, you can able to do this quantum jump. Consciously, you can move from this Jagrat Avastha to dreaming state where you are dreaming. You are in a world of dreaming, but you are knowing that you are dreaming. When you are going into sleeping, in the world of darkness, but you know that you are in sleeping state. So that self-awareness is always going to be there in three different dimensions of life. Because half of the time, our life is always either in dreaming or sleeping, and we think it's just a waste of life, or we are not paying much more attention of this half of life that we are living. And we are living, we have that lots of experience are happening in dreaming state, and lots of experience are also happening in sleeping. That is why when we are coming out of sleep, even we don't have direct experience because we don't have sense organ, so there is intuitive experience that is happening, but we are always used to get experience by tools and technology, by sense organ. That direct experience without any sense, we not able to grasp, our mind and this intelligence is not able to grasp that experience. But when we are coming out of this sleep, we said, okay, we had very great sleep. So that peaceful experience of sleep, deep sleep, we know that experience is also there and is also very important, but we are not paying attention. So this Mandukya Upanishad is going to explain all these three phases of your life and give equal contributions, equal importance of all three different phases. Mandukya Upanishad with Omkara. So Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest of all the Upanishad, and that is assigned with Atharvaveda, is listed as number 6 in Muktika canon of 108 Upanishads. It is in prose, consider 12 verses and discuss the syllable Om. It is not only a most insightful writing, but also very complete outline of this sadhana. So it's mostly not giving what and where, but it's always focusing on these practices. No philosophy, only practice. So it is has been said that the juice of Vedas is in Upanishads, and the juice of all Upanishads are Mandukya Upanishads. So in 12 verse, all teachings of Upanishads are compressed here. It's explaining these four states of consciousness, Turiya classifications of these 12 verses is given in from verse 1 to 2 that describe the self and absolute state of mind. From 3 to 7 describes the four level of consciousness, and 8 to 12 outline the four aspect of Omkar. This is Mandukya Upanishad. So this eight, those four are same with u, and ma, and silence. There are four states. The sound is waking, sound u is dreaming or subtler body, and this ma sound is a deep sleep or casual body. So the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, Jagrut, Swapna, and Sushupti are very well explained in Mandukya Upanishad. And silence after Omkar, that will be your this final state of awareness. The fourth aspect is soundless aspect of Om. So it's very greatly explained this A, U, and Ma. Physical, mental, deep sleep, and pure consciousness. All these four dimensions are explained in Mandukya Upanishad. A, Vaishwanar awareness, Tejasama is Pragya, and Auma together is Turyavastha, super consciousness. And this is your journey, how you can move ahead. And this is symbolisms of Omkara, this unconscious waking state, absolute state, illusions of mayas, and this is a dreaming state. So by this Omkara, you can able to see this form and different attributes in Omkara, symbols. So A, U, and Ma. A is for Virata, U is Hiranyagarbha, and Ma is Ishvara. So Mandukya Upanishada, 4 Prakarana, chapters, 12 mantras, Agama, Vaitatya, Advaita, and Ashtala Shanti. There are these 3 matra, A matra, U matra, and Ma matra. In microcosmic Vyashti, there will be Vishwa as a, U is Tejasa, and Ma as Pragya. In the Samashti, universal self, the A will become Vaishwanar or Virat. U is Hiranyagarbha and Ma is Ishvara. A is waking, U is dreaming, Ma is sleeping. A Pragya is outer, enjoyment will be gross, and trupti will be gross, and I will be right. And the U is your subtler mind, inner pragya is going to wake up, and your manas is going to be meditations, and ma will be your heart space is place of meditation, sthanatraya. This happiness, trupti will be your anandam, and in bhoga also anandan, and a homogeneous pragya, because you are going into deep sleep. So only anandam, iti jnanam is going to happen, that okay, I have very great sleep, I'm so much anandam there. And amatra is turyavastha. So verse 8 to 12, chaturmatra omkar vichara is explained is Mandukya Upanishad. O is Upasana of Virat on Ekara, and Apti of Adhimatvam. Upasana of Hiranyagarbhan Ukara, Utkarsh, and Ubhayatvam. And verses 11, Makara, Upasana of Ishvara on Makara, Vidhi, and Abhidhi. And verse 12, final verse is silence, that is Amatra. There will be no matra, only silence. So that is Turiya, Atma, and Brahman. So meaning of Mandukya Upanishad, a rishi called Mandukya is also there. Manduka is also for goes in hibernations for 6 months during rainy season, and Jnani in hibernations is meditates and come out of singing, and Ha in Taittiriya Upanishads, jumping from hopes and jumping, Jiva also jumping from different stages. And there are lots of different understanding of Mandukya Upanishads, Omkar, what these gunas of manifested of sound of Prakriti and unmanifested sound of Purusha. So when we will go much more deeper, then we can able to do this different details of practicing Omkara. And these are 12 these sutras of Upanishads, mantras. So this is whole Upanishads is like in 3-4 pages. You can able to have this it's very smallest Upanishad. So Vishwa, Tejasa, and Pragya. So it's very greatly explained in this Upanishad of Mandukya. So we are just quickly move forward. We don't want to go in a much more deeper in Mandukya Upanishads. So this is the final teaching is how to do this Omkar Upasana and come out of this birth cycle. So waking, U is sleeping, and Ma is this transcendent self of going beyond this Makar sound. So this higher dimensional self. Let's move to session 8, where we are going to learn about the 7th Upanishad that is called as a Taittiriya Upanishad. So Taittiriya Upanishad belong to Yajurveda, and the Upanishad of Patrages, in which we learn that each of us is really a Maitroshka doll. Om Sham No Mitra Sham Varunah Sham No Bhavatyaryaam. This is our Shanti mantra. Om Sahna Bhavatu. That is also part of Taittiriya Upanishads. Taittiriya, they are talking about these 5 layers of our human self. Annamaya Kosha made of food, Pranamaya Kosha made of breath, Manomaya Kosha made of mind, and Vijnanamaya made of knowledge, and Anandamaya made of joy. Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. These teachings are coming from Taittiriya Upanishad. So first Valli they call as a Siksha Valli. The all instructions, how to all these ethics and how you can live your life. This is giving in a Sikshavali. The esoteric metaphysical topic aside to focus entirely on a Vedic school of curriculum. It takes some of all the things of phonetics and right sound and essence. Everything is given in a Sikshavali. So what connect the earth to sky, space travels by air, and what connect the fire and the sun, what water blaze through by lightning, what connect the teacher to students, that said knowledge imparted through instruction, what connect a mother to a father, so said child, the child born of love, what connect the lower jaw to the upper jaw, says speech, and speech formed to tongue. So this very great puzzle way of giving this teaching, it's uniqueness of Taittiriya Upanishad. So they are asking to understand which level of this student is. So okay, what connect the earth to the sky? So okay, space. Okay, the space traveled by air. And what connect the fire and the sun? So okay, there is a water element, and water blaze through by lightning. So this way, puzzling way and entertaining way of understanding is taught in Taittiriya Upanishad, Sikshavalli. And this ethics, do not neglect the truth, do not neglect the law, do not neglect your health, see your teacher as a god, see your father as a god, see your guest as a god. These teachings are under Sikshavalli Taittiriya Upanishad. Brahmanandavalli Keeper of a supreme bliss. When we are going to see this Ananda Mimamsa, the analyzations and understanding of how that blissfulness, because Anandam iti mama swabhava, atmasya swabhavo iti atma, Sachidananda Swarupa iti atma, Sat, Chit and Anandam. So this bliss is also part of Atma. So if I want to realize Atma, that means I want to realize anandam, this blissfulness. So what that bliss is, how I can able to quantize, how I can able to learn this art of expanding my blissful self, this consciousness, that is very well explained in Brahmananda Valli, and third will be Bhrugu Valli, the creeper of Brigirishu. So three Valli, Siksha Valli is all basic teaching, Brahmanand Valli, all this understanding of Anandamaya Kosha. There are five koshas. What is this Anandamaya Kosha and what is that pure bliss, Brahma Ananda Anandam? This bliss ladder. This bliss ladder is very greatly explained in this Taittiriya Upanishad and Bhruguvalli, how the great sage Bhrugu and they give this understanding of self. So Sikshavali deals with the discipline of Siksha, which is the first of six Vedanga. Okay, when we already learn in Vedanga, we have Siksha and Vyakaran, Chand, Jyotik. So the first part, Siksha, phonetics, alphabets, is very greatly taught in this Taittiriya Upanishad. Sikshavali, theory of oneness and holy, what is Omkar, what is ethical duties of humans is also explained in Taittiriya Upanishad. Anandavalli is this blissful self, Anandamaya Kosha. It's very greatly, deeply explained what Anandam is, how you can able to quantize this Ananda, teaches about a Brahman and tries to define as a true omniscience of infinite. Anandavalli is remarkable for its kosha, explaining that man reaches his highest potential and understand the deepest knowledge by realizing the self as a bliss. Anandavalli classify this as a concentric layer, shades of knowledge, food, energy, mind, intellect, and beliefs. This is a very great explanation. Every spiritual school, you are going to see this architecture. So it's architecture coming from Anandavalli's Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhruguvalli is describing how son of Varuna, this Bhrugu, obtained realizations of Brahman through repeated tapas. So under his father's guidance, so father is explaining and how this tapas is performing and realized. So that very great examples of Bhrugu and enlightening story. So three Vallis are in Taittiriya Upanishad. So story of Bhrugu, son of Varuna, realizations and represents of Brahman in Panchakosha, Annam Brahmeti Vyajanat, Prano Brahmeti Vyajanat, Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat, Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat, Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. So this Panchakosha Viveka is very well explained in this Upanishad. This is what Taittiriya Upanishad. Sikshavalli, Brahmanandvalli, and Bhruguvalli. Sikshavalli have 12 sections, Brahmanandvalli have 9 sections, Bhruguvalli have 10 sections. Let's move to 8th Upanishad, that is Aitariya Upanishad. Aitariya Upanishad is also from Rigveda among major 10 Upanishads. Aitariya Rishi, so name out of Aitariya, Upanishad of the glory of being human, in which we got the enjoy yet another story of how the universe was created. Aitariya Aranyaka of Rigveda, chapter 1, creations of this Purusha, other divine beings, creations of food, that is very greatly explained. Chapter 2, three birds of that self, and Pragyam Brahma, consciousness, that is Brahman, is explained in chapter 3. So that is our Aitariya Upanishad. How that all creations of universe is explained very, very well in Aitariya Upanishad. So Aitariya Upanishad introduction, Rigveda, Guru is Prithvi Devta, students is Aitariya Rishi. So in chapter 1, Adhyarupa Srishti and Loka Srishti, Devta Srishti, Manusha Srishti, all these Srishtis, all Lokas, how they are created is very greatly explained. Journey of a Jiva, seed in this father as a beach, then the Garbha portrayed body as a Jiva, have dissipations by Vairagyam, embodied life, claim Brahma, and how you can move out of this journey and this Mahavakyas. Mahavakyas is also explained that is essence of all the Upanishads. Pragyanam iti Brahmam. Pragyanam Brahma, that is also out of four. There are Mahavakyas, Pragyanam Brahma, that Pragya, that intelligence is self, is explained in Aitareya Upanishad. So is it the self by which we see, hear, smell, and taste, through which we speak in words? Itself the mind by which we perceive, direct, and understand. Know, remember, think, will, desire, and love. These are but all servant of the self. Pure consciousness, that is self. And this creation, story of creations of Aitareya Upanishad, over the form a mouth opened as does an egg giving forth seeds, and how that all expansions of universe is happening is very greatly explained in Aitareya. Ninth Upanishad, that is Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya is a name coming of a chanda, so that meters, this Vedanga that we have learned, that there are one Vedanga that is called as a Chandas. Chandas means Vedic meter. So it's from Samaveda is coming. So Chandogya Upanishad of sacred meters, in which through Shvetaketu we discover who we really are. So Shvetaketu is explaining, through Shvetaketu we are going to learn reality. Chandogya Upanishad. So it's stories of Tattvamasi, is also Mahavakyas, and stories of Shvetaketu. So dialogue between Father Uddalaka and his son Shvetaketu is explained in Chandogya Upanishads. The name of the Upanishad comes from Chandas, which refers to the poetic meter in which it is written, poetically expressed, is a part of this important Upanishads. So Chandogya Upanishad is appear in Samaveda, written in musical style, major Upanishad, because Bhashya has been written by Adi Shankaracharya. Chandogya Upanishad consists of 8 chapters, prakarana, each with varying khandas. The first 5 deal with karma kandas, and then we will have upasana kanda, and other will be have jnana kandas. Story of King Janashruti and the man with the card named Raivaka. The moral of the story is called Samvarga Vidya. Samvarga Vidya is explained that air, that Vayu is the devoter into itself of divinities, because it absorbs these fires, and sun at sunset, moon when it sets, water. So it refers to man as a prana. This vital energy is fundamentals of that reality. So that is explained in this story. Janashruti, story of that king. Also, there is another story, dialogue between a Shvetaketu and Uddalaka. Uddalaka, the son of Aruni, sent to Gurukula for study, and he underwent the whole course of educations. But once he is coming after completing the study, written and then asked by his father about what you have learned so far. So, do you know that? By knowing which everything is going to know? Did you know that? By which that unheard becoming heard? And that's Shvetaketu, no sir, I have not know that. So Aruni then illustrated with examples of clay and things made of clay, gold and golden ornaments, that by the true knowledge of cause and effect, the knowledge of all other objects with our effect can be attained. That concept of that Sata, Jivatma, concept of Trivitrakam, triplity Tejas, Apa and Anna, is very well explained in this Upanishad. So that Tat Tvam Asi Mahavakya is explained in this Upanishads. Sat is the very subtler essence of all the things. This is the truth, which is the very self that exists in everybody. That Tat is you. You are that. So that is story of Satyakama is also explained. Dear mother, what is my gotra or lineage? I wish to go to Gurukul and offer this life. And because Satyakama was sweet morning on this ocean, and then story goes, and then Satyakama go to these teachers and approach this teacher, and the also get some knowledge about this self, and he also realize. So that the story of Satyakama is also part of this Upanishad. So Satyakama is approaching this teacher because he don't have any gotra or lineage. He went go back to his mother, and he got some very great wise answer. So they accepted him as a disciple, and he said, okay, now I'm going to give you these cows, just take these to jungle, and once they become thousand, then and then you need to come back. So after he is living with his cows, different elements. So his guru is not going, is not teaching him, but his all these cows and all these national MITs and all this sun and Agni, they are giving these messages, because that Satyakama want to know that self, how that life operates, and how I can come out of to liberation. So that all these elements are explaining, and that self-realizations is happening to Satyakamas. And once this all becoming thousands, he's coming back, and then that said, okay, that is Brahman, that is Brahman, and that is me, I am Brahman. So that realizations is happening, and Guru is also becoming so grateful that you realize and know your Swabhava Atma. So that is Chandogya Upanishad, story of Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi. It's always this analogy with guru and the sishyas, and how that questions answer coming. So Chandogya Upanishad, Samaveda, 8 chapters, 627 mantras sung in very musical form. Jiva Upasana and Ishwar Upasana benefits, it's a Sakam Dharma, Nishkam Karma, and a Guru Prapti and Moksha. So chapter 6, we have this Satvidya teacher Uddalak and Svetaketu. There is a, in chapter 6, we have this dialogue between this Brahma Vidya of Uddalaka as a teacher teaching Svetaketu. Bhuma Vidya, that a teacher Sanat Kumara and Narada. We have this Prajapati Vidya, teacher Prajapati and Indra. So this is our Chandogya Upanishad. And this final understanding of Mahavakya, Tat, Tvam, and Asi, and very greatly explain what that, why that Tat and me both are same. The last and final Upanishad is as a Brihadaranya Upanishad. So, like Ishavasya Upanishad, this Upanishad also being from Shukla Yajurveda. Brihada and Aranyaka. So in ancient time, the sannyasi, after renouncing the world, will go and live in forest and study the Upanishads. So the Aranyaka mean what is studied in the forest, and Brihada means very great or very big, huge forest. So this Upanishad is very huge, and lots of stories and lots of teachings is given, and that with lots of understanding got on this forest area. That is why it's called as a Brihada Aranyak Upanishadas. So the great forest Upanishada Brihadaranyaka, in which we learn that we should be careful what we wish for we are nothing but our deepest desire. So Brihadaranya Upanishada, Aham Brahma Asmi, that Mahavakya is in Brihadaranya Upanishada, Neti Neti, process of understanding, realizing truth, Na iti, and Asatoma Sadgamaya, hierarchy of mind's component, is also the higher, this mind, conscious, subconscious, superconscious, everything is given in this analogy of Brihadaranya Upanishad. and a great conversation between Maitris and Yajnavalkya. Once the great sage Yajnavalkya sat with his wife Maitre down beside him and said to, "Hey Maitri, I have completed my responsibility as a householder, and it is time for me to move on the next stage of renunciation. As a sannyasi, I want to spend more time on in reflection and contemplation, and I will not be able to stay here much longer. But before I go, I want to divide all this with you and another wife is Katyayani." So Maitri and Katyayani, the conversations is between Yajnavalkya and Maitri. So Brihadaranya Upanishad's 10th Upanishad is estimated to have composed over 700 BCE, and it's great. It's have six chapters or adhyayas, and six chapters, and every chapters have lots of great stories that we can able to uh, learn. This chapter 3 is a metaphysical dialogue between 10 ancient sage on the nature of reality, that is Atman and Muktis. Chapter 4 is a dialogue between King Janaka and Yajnavalkya. Chapter fifth and sixth is also Khila Khanda, with a supplementary section that each Brahman which gives some supplement understanding. So this is our Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. Story of the is also very great stories. It's part of this Brihadaranya Upanishad. The syllable the is given to all this Deva, Danta and Manasa. So the is to give for humans. Story of Prajapati is also there in a Brihadaranya Upanishad. That Prajapati is coming and giving this teaching of the and the. There are three khandas: Madhu Khanda, Muni Khanda, and Khila Khanda. So you can able to divide this Brihadaranya in three different sections or khanda. First is Madhu, teaching of hanifications. Muni is with reasoning, and the Khila is supplement, Upasana and karma value. So this is our summary of Brihadaranya Upanishad, 6 chapters and 434 mantras. Madhu Khanda, Muni Khanda, and Khila Khanda, Upadesha Khanda, Upapapti Khanda, and Upasana Khanda. 11th Upanishad and many more Upanishads are there. Shweta Upanishad is there. Uh, and there are Kaivalya Upanishad is also very important Upanishads, and we have this huge spread of Upanishads. It's a never-ending story of Upanishad, 108 and more than 108 Upanishads are there, but this major 10 Upanishads is more than enough to complete this journey of this Prasthanatraya. So Prasthanatraya, we have these three tools, and this is final tools of Prasthana. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Purnam Eva Avasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Om.